Hi, this is Alcan. Welcome back to my channel. Well, unfortunately for Jack Smith, the bad news just keep piling up. Um, you might recall he'd been asking for a gag order against Trump in the document case. Well, we just got rolling from Judge Canon of Florida, and guess what? He didn't get it. I know, why am I smiling? Because I had a feeling this was not going to go his way. Not because that the judge is a Republican appointed by Trump, but Jack Smith's history. He's a major screw up. And I said it on this channel many times before, especially with the Bob Melendez case. And unfortunately, it's coming back again to haunt him. So let's get into the details of what the heck happened. Well, and I'll put my analysis in here. This is from ABC News. Catherine Daly and Alexander Mullen. I can't pronounce names, so you have to forgive me. Anyway, the federal judge overseeing former President Donald Trump's classified document case denied a special counsel's motion requesting that Trump be barred from making statements that could pose a significant risk to law enforcement. I guess it has something to do with the shoot to kill. So you put that in the documents. I guess because, it was redacted, all of this stuff. They didn't think this was going to be unredacted. Told you Smith was a screw up. Trump's lawyer argued that the special counsel violated local rule 88.9, which states both parties must meet and confer before filing motions so that the court and the party time is used efficiently. In the filing Monday, Trump's lawyers asked Canon to strike the special counsel's request and impose sanctions on any prosecutor involved in filing their motion. Judge Aileen Cannon said that the special counsel conferred with Trump's lawyer is morally lacking in substance and professional courtesy. Canon agreed with the Trump's lawyers that the special counsel should not have filed such a motion without a meaningful conferencing with the defense as local rules required. They never had this problem before with the other situations. The judge said that failure to comply with those requirements may result in sanctions. Oops. Sorry, Jack. You got whacked. Trump's lawyer wrote, for the reasons set forth below in the light of the office blatant violation of local rule 88.9 and related warnings from the court should strike the motion, make civil contempt findings as to all government attorneys who participated in the decision to file the motion without meaningful conferral, and impose sanctions at the holding and evidentially hearing regardless of the purpose and the intent behind the office decision to willfully disregard required procedures. But yeah, we didn't have that happen in the New York cases where they had the gag order, or in Washington D.C. So, like I said, this time the guy just screwed up. Trump's lead defense attorney, Todd Bratch, has asked the special counsel to wait until Monday to meet and confer, something the special counsel office declined to do because they said Trump has created a situation with his public comments that couldn't wait the weekend to file. Now, the fact was that you put something in there about going in there with orders to shoot to kill. I wouldn't have put that in the paperwork in the begin with. I mean, that was stupid. I mean, when the Bob Melendez case that happened recently, did anybody put out something like that on his paperwork? No. As we tried to explain earlier, our judgment was that the situation your client has created necessitated a prompt prompt request for relief that could not wait until the weekend to file. We understand your position and represent to the court that you do not believe the government has engaged in adequate conferral here, Special Counsel Prosecutor Dave Hartback wrote in an email to Trump's lawyers. The request by the special counsel followed Trump's efforts to seize an item of recent release discovery in the case that he falsely claimed shows that President Joe Biden planned to assassinate him during the search of his Mar-a-Lago club in August in 2022. Yeah, but you got to remember, this thing might have been planted in Trump's head since the appellate court in D.C. saying, "Oh, what if you had immunity and you decided that you were going to assassinate your rival?" Remember that one? That judge should not have said that. You put that thought in his head, look what happens. The government moves to modify defendant Donald J. Trump's conditions of release to make clear that he may not make statements that pose a significant, imminent, and foreseen danger to law enforcement agents participating in the investigation and prosecution of the case, the filing from Smith says. In bolstering the request, the filing points to the attack on the FBI field office in Cincinnati, Ohio, which they said was in the wake of a statement Trump made inflammatory his supporters following the August search. We didn't have no knowledge of this thing back then. Trump pleaded not guilty to the last June to 37 criminal counts related to his handling of classified materials after leaving the White House, after prosecutors said he repeatedly refused to return hundreds of documents containing classified information ranging from U.S. nuclear secrets to the nation's defense capabilities, and took steps toward the government's efforts to get the documents back. ABC puts down Judge Canon denied special counsel request to bar Trump from making statements about the law enforcement. Originally appeared on abcnews.go.com. Yeah, but the thing is, I understand that, but there's several reasons why this has happened the way it happened. Yes, Judge Canon is a Trump appointee judge. Smith took too long to bring this case to the courts in Florida. There was another judge that could have taken this case, a Democrat, but they took too long. That by the time this case was available for a judge, that judge was already gone. He was on another case. Canon was the only one left. So that was Jack Smith's fault. So he should have dotted his I's and crossed his T's a little more carefully, being that he has a history of screwing up cases. Bob Melendez is a big example of one of the biggest screw-ups. Now, Bob Melendez is in trouble. Hopefully that the DOJ this time don't screw up like they did with Jack Smith. But he had other cases before where he gotten himself into deep water. There's only one case that he was able to successfully win and the convention stick. Unfortunately for him, that one case is the one that Trump pardoned that guy. So this is probably why Jack Smith is so gung-ho going after Trump. Revenge. But, to be fair, yes, I understand, the fears of people might be retaliating against law enforcement and other people. And that's why the gag orders were placed in New York and D.C., but they didn't always work. For example, the two cases in New York where the gag order was placed with Judge Engeron in New York and Merchant, you had two incidents where two individuals set a fire in front of the courthouse. They had to be evacuated in New York. That's Engeron's courthouse. I don't think the Trump case was involved in that situation, but the second one did. Person set themselves on fire in a park near the second case. So the gag order doesn't always work, because if you have a nutcase that wants to do something stupid that has nothing to do with the Trump. And by the way, they were Democrats, by the way. So you got your nuts on both sides. So don't say it's all Republicans. I know there's nuts in the Democrat side. So don't. And I'm a Democrat, so don't say I don't know what I'm talking about, because I know. We have them. I mean, I'll give an example. We had a demonstration years ago when I was in the union. We were demonstrating for a contract, and unfortunately, some employees went down onto the subway and decided to pull emergency cords on some trains, and they got in some trouble. So don't say there's no nuts on the Democratic side, because there are. We have them. So, well, all I can say is, the guy knows that Canon is not an easy person to deal with, and he knows he has to have his I's dotted and T's crossed and everything, whatever, because if you don't, it's going to be harder for him to deal this case. He got in his way in D.C., but he's not getting his way in Florida. And this is partly his fault. So, could you imagine if he had ended up with a Trump appointee judge in D.C.? He'd be facing the same problems here, too. So in closing, once again, Judge Canon denied a gag order against Trump in the Florida document case. He said, to protect law enforcement from danger of what? The only person who shoots himself all the time in this Florida case is Jack Smith. Maybe he needs the gag order, because if he shut the hell up, he wouldn't get himself in so much trouble, would he? So Zal can't say so long for now, and don't forget to stop. I hope he does get the sanctions, because he deserves it. I'm sure Bob Melendez is laughing right now, his head off, as we speak. So, later.